What are you doing?
Dude, it's cold weather season. Like, bike riding's over till it's hot again.
You don't know how to ride in the cold?
Well, actually, I do. I actually got some tips to keep us riding throughout the entire cold weather season. The cold weather has arrived, and maybe you're new to riding and you're looking to keep sending throughout the year, or you're a veteran rider and you're just looking for extra tips to keep you riding in the cold weather. Well, the great thing is here at Jenson USA, we're all things cycling, and we're here to bring you a video about the 5 tips to keep you riding throughout all of the cold weather season. So let's get into it with tip number 1. All right, now the first tip when you're out there riding in the cold is to keep in mind that a single jacket, so something like this Fox that we have right here, although this is a great jacket, you don't want to dress in just a single jacket, right? So what that does is that eliminates you to shed your weight based on the style of riding that you're doing. So the tip I have for you is to dress in layers, right? So something like a merino wool base layer, and then put that jacket over that. Make sure you have some good cold weather gloves to go with something like that. Because the ideal here is that you're definitely going to be hotter on your ascent. As you're climbing, you're putting out more energy, and then as you're sending down the descent, you're going to be a little bit cooler. So you're going to want to adjust your layers as you're riding. So our first tip here is dress in layers, because it's better to shed it like an onion and keep on sending versus sweat and freeze like an ice cube. All right, pro tip. When you're dressing in layers and you're loaded down, bring a pack with you, because you can throw all those layers in the bag right here, or whatever pack you got on your back or on your hip pack or whatever, to adjust as you're doing your ride. So quick little pro tip, bring a pack. All right, now the second tip, and this is pretty straightforward. You might be saying, Mark, I don't want to hear it. That's so obvious, but I just want to bring it out there because it is a great tip to think about. We're out there, we're doing lots of miles. We're changing elevation, we're going ups, we're going downs, we're going all around, right? It's important to get on your phone, let me see if it recognizes my face, and check the weather, right? Look at the areas in which you're riding.
We're there.
If you're doing a huge ascent and you're getting way up top in different elevation, it might be way different than where you start your ride. So just keep that in mind. And again, like I mentioned in the first tip, it's going to be a lot hotter going up when you're climbing than it is going down. It may be dry at the base. When you get up to the top, it could be raining, could be snowing, whatever like that on you. So just keep that in mind when you're out there. Also on those descents, just keep in mind that based on that weather, understanding that you're looking at, some of those turns could still be icy when you're coming down. So when you know that kind of cold weather, it's going to help you determine what it's to expect when you're out there on your ride. So just check the weather before you get out there and ride. Look at all the areas on which you're going to ride and just be aware. All right, so we're halfway through. This is the third tip, and this tip may stick with you for the entirety of the year, regardless of the season or the weather. And this is having a nice pair of clear lenses, whether that be the goggles that you're wearing or even clear lens glasses. Now, again, we're seeing here, like on these 100%, you got dark frames here with a clear lens insert, which is phenomenal. During the summertime, it's super bright. You got dark lenses here. You can also swap in a clear lens that comes with the kit and be riding all the year. And this is super important because even if you asked our camera guy Preston recently, he got a piece of trail grit stuck in his eye for days. It was miserable. He bought himself a pair of clear lenses after that. He hasn't looked back since. He's only looking forward. He's looking down on the trail. He's full sending. So this is a huge tip I recommend just for cycling in general. Get yourself a nice pair of glasses. Having that clear lens when it's, dark and you're out there in the cold weather is clutch. You're gonna be able to focus on what's in front of you, spot the ice, spot whatever type of hazard you need to look for, as well as get full sends and get out there and shred. Yoo! All right, so moving into our fourth tip, and let's just be honest, nobody likes cold, wet feet. It's miserable. When you're out there, the rain started hitting, or even you're sloshing through puddles or whatever it may be, you don't want wet feet, right? And as it gets cold, frozen toes, they turn into little ice cubes. You don't want to drop them, in your drink and chill that out. What you want to do is keep them nice, warm, and dry. First thing I'd recommend, and this goes back to our first tip, this is a good set of moisture wicking socks. So something like merino wool socks. They even make waterproof socks, which we carry. They're great, right? They keep your foot nice and dry. Other options we have are just like these Pearl Izumi. They're just a toe cover, right? They're gonna keep it nice and dry. You just slip it over the front of your shoe, and that's great. The other option, a lot more serious. If you're out there and it's pretty serious conditions, it's getting pretty gnarly, we got these great, it's a full-on shoe boot cover basically, and it's waterproof. It's gonna keep everything great, but as you can see, the bottom's still exposed in a sense to give you the grip and what you're paying for on your shoe. Or if you're clipped, whatever it may be, you're still able to access the clip on your shoe. So these are great in those real serious conditions. Couple little side hacks or pro tips, as we like to call them here, which we don't highly recommend, but they're just things to keep in mind. Number one is keeping some sandwich bags in your pack. When it starts raining, you can throw your electronics in there. It's gonna keep them waterproof. Ziploc that up, you're good to go. The other one, in serious conditions, you can always take a plastic bag and put that over your foot in order to keep and make sure that none of the water is getting through. It's just a little quick side hack or a pro tip to keep your feet dry, but it's just some good things you can maybe keep in your pack when it's cold weather season. So let's move into the fifth and final tip. All right, for our fifth and final tip here, this one's all about airing down, right? Keeping that tire pressure a little less than what you're used to, because as the conditions are a little bit more slippery, you're getting muddier, wet rocks, whatever it may be that you're riding, slick roads, you want to air down just a little bit more. A little bit more rubber on the ground is going to go a long way in giving you that traction. So we recommend getting yourself a nice tire gauge. Really double check that tire pressure before you get out there and start riding. And if you're curious for even more further details on how tire pressure affects your riding, check out one of our great athletes, which is Jeff Kendallweed over here on his YouTube channel. He breaks down in a couple videos all about tire pressure and how it relates directly to your style of riding and the importance behind it. And quick little pro tip, and this comes from one of our personal shredders here that works here, is taking, maybe a little bit of extra rebound on your fork, right, or on your bike. And that is because as your seals are cold, they're gonna be a little bit less to wanna warm up and start moving for you. So when you give yourself a little bit faster rebound at the start of your ride until those seals start getting lubricated and warmed up, it's just gonna give you that plus from the start. So that's a quick little pro tip, little faster rebound, as well as the main tip is just make sure that tire pressure is golden, get it low, keep it dropped like it's hot, get out there and send. All right, and I know we said 5 tips, but like we love to do here at Jenson, we're giving you a 6th and extra bonus tip. And that is, just ensure after that sick ride out there in the cold weather that you clean your bike down. Get all that dirt, all that debris off of there, make sure it's great. We recommend the products like Muck Off here. They have this amazing kit that has everything you need to get that bike looking nice and shiny and riding like new after a hard ride, as well as make sure, throw some wet lube on that chain. Put it on before you get out and ride, put it on again when you get done after you're done washing it, getting it flow smoothly, as well as that fork and that suspension. Make sure to put a little bit of suspension lubricant in there, get that thing running plush. You're gonna love it, right? Your bike's gonna love you the more you love it. So take some Muck Off, throw it on there, clean it up, get it lubed, and get ready to send when you get out there again. All right, so those are the 5 tips plus 1, make it 6 tips here at Jenson that we offer for you, all about cold weather riding and getting out there and keeping sending. And I would like to just bring to attention, with this cold weather comes shorter days and you want to keep your riding going. We also got a video out here. It's all about bike lights and everything you need to know. So be sure to check out our video on bike lights after this one. It's going to just help build that understanding and keep you riding all cold weather into the night. We just combat it all. Get out there and send. See you next time. And as always, keep pedaling.
What are you doing?
Dude, bike season's over. The bike's cold. I mean, I'm not riding until it's hot again. I mean, unless you had 5 tips to keep me riding throughout the cold weather.
I don't have 5 tips. I don't got shit for you.